What did I just see? I just got back from the movies and I saw Mother! Exclamation point. If I told you the plot of this movie, you wouldn't believe me. And it's either the worst thing I've ever seen or one of the best things I've ever seen. I don't really know. This movie makes you uncomfortable with all the silence. Basically, to sum up the plot, it's about a couple who lives in the middle of nowhere. And they have this big old house. I don't like living in big places by myself. It capitalizes on that fear of living in the middle of nowhere. Because anytime your door rings, you're like, who the fuck is that? That's kind of how I answer the door like that anyway. And I live in a city. So the couple, they live in this house alone, and all of a sudden people start showing up. One by one, until all of a sudden there's a lot more people there who increasingly, and the movie doesn't like pawn all these people on you at once. It gradually builds. I don't know if it's kind of like a comedy disguised as a horror or a horror disguised as a comedy. There are a lot of hilarious moments in this movie that I don't know if they're intentional or just I have a sick sense of humor. As the movie builds with more people showing up, it gets real. The main focus of this movie is on the relationship between the two. Obviously, there was a point where they were in love and things have gone very terribly. They're not very happy. I mean, he's not very happy. I don't know if she's not happy either, honestly. They both are so focused on their work. The only thing about her work is for his benefit. His work is only to benefit him. He comes off as egotistical quite a few times in this movie, and she is like willing to stick with him despite all of the weird stuff that's happened. By the ending, you see some pretty shocking stuff. Stuff that I don't want to spoil for you. Unless you looked up on the internet some promotional posters. I hope you don't look up promotional posters on this movie. It's best to go into this movie with blinders on, to not know what's going on. The film kind of keeps you in the dark most of the time, so you won't know what's going on regardless. Even in the end, the ending, which I'm sure will be talked about and analyzed, and maybe I can make a whole separate video on that ending. But the ending is very what just happened. Now that I've talked about it at length right now, I'm going to start getting into spoilers because I really need to talk about this movie right now. In 3, 2, 1. Movie starts off, you see a woman's face burning. I don't know who it is. I assume it's Jennifer Lawrence. Then all of a sudden, you see the ashes go away and she wakes up and says, baby. She goes to look for her husband and he pops up out of the blue. He's a creepy guy. I don't understand her husband. He's got a really weird face. I always thought he's had a weird face. Ever since Skyfall, he just has a lot of, it's like evolution, monkey-like, you know? All of a sudden, we get one guy who knocks on the door, comes in, the husband lets him stay, and he's comfortable with him being there. And Jennifer Lawrence kind of didn't really want him there, but you know, whatever. The house that they live in is actually his old parents' house that I guess burned down, and now she's helping him rebuild it. He starts throwing up and stuff, and she just kind of goes to bed. Wake up in the morning, and he's like, what do you mean I was sick? And the husband is just like, so, like it's just a normal day, and it's really confusing. All of a sudden, the guy who showed up, his wife comes in. And his wife is just like this wannabe, horny, 50-year-old, flaunting around, acting all sexual, and like her and that old guy are still doing it or whatever. They also bring up how Jennifer Lawrence and her husband are actually very far apart in age. I'm pretty sure in real life they're at least 20 years apart. After she shows up, they are really interested in this rock.
Now they're minerals. Jesus, Marie.
This mineral that they're interested in seems to have like a little like flash, something Something's going on with it. As I mentioned earlier, silence is very important in this movie because when it's silent, it's very quiet. And you hear little things in the background like screaming or like some music playing. And I thought it was just me. We thought that it was like another theater that was that loud, but no, this was in the movie, little faint sounds, and I don't know exactly where they were coming from or if they were like the future or something. They're talking to the couple and they find out that the couple has kids and they don't have kids, and they're just never on the same page. One says they want kids, one looks at them funny. Seems like there's a lot that they don't talk about or something, but I'm not some marriage counselor, so skip. Then that rock
Now, they're minerals. Jesus, Marie.
or mineral, they break it. They have this interest in the room that he works in that is unexplainable. He gets pissed. The reason why this is so big is because Javier's character is so silent throughout the movie. He doesn't raise his voice much. He's like, oh, it's nothing wrong, baby. I'm fine. And then all of a sudden, he's screaming upset because that thing broke. And I don't understand the significance until the ending. So once that thing breaks, it seems like he will want them to leave, but he says they have nowhere else to go. Then their kids show up, and those kids are fighting and like punching him in the stomach, and supposedly the dad has cancer. One of the kids kills the other kid. All of a sudden we have like a murder that happened. The blood stain from the kid who died, one part of the blood stain doesn't go away. It's just like this bloody vagina on the floor. Sorry for the imagery, but trust me, when you see this movie, there'll be way worse images. So after the one kid seemingly kills the other kid, the husband Javier just has to go take him to the hospital, he says, and leaves her alone. Good husband. And you get a really good shot of just the big area around him and how she is like in this giant house all by herself. The kid who killed the other kid kind of shows up and just acts like he forgot his wallet. She goes to look for where he went. The husband's back and he's got blood on him. So then he decides to hold like this reception for a funeral at their place, and there's more and more people coming in. It goes 0 to 100 real quick. It just becomes chaotic. They're breaking stuff. They finally get all these people out. She finally seemingly decides that he is not worth the shit that she's getting put through. They have this argument and she says, how can you want a baby when you can't even fuck me? I was like, damn. Whoa. So then he proceeds to rape her, and she starts to enjoy it. Let that be a lesson to you kids. If you rape a girl long enough, she'll love it. What are you doing? All of a sudden, she wakes up and she's like feeling on her heart, and she's like, I'm pregnant. I'm like, you know, after like a day. I'm not a woman, so I don't know how that works. If you're a woman and you're watching this, please explain to me. The next scene you see, all of a sudden she has a bigger hump. Time has obviously passed, and I'm guessing those people haven't been there in at least 8 months. So they're happy. He starts writing again, and you get this image of their house burned down and him and her holding hands. But back to reality, and they're about to have this candlelight dinner. Some people show up to the house, and she says keep them outside. All of a sudden, a little boy got to go to the bathroom in their house, and I'm like, where did he come from? People just start coming in, and then it goes from 0 to 3,000 real quick. All of a sudden, it's like an autograph signing that turns into a nightclub, that turns into an internment camp, which turns into an execution house, which turns into a riot, which turns into a police raid, which turns into a baby sacrifice. Holy shit, I don't know what's going on right now. Did he just say baby sacrifice? Yes, she has her kid on the floor in their study after they had to run away from all of them, has the baby. He wants to hold it. She realized, wait a minute, this man is fucking crazy. So she doesn't let him hold him. So then they have a staring contest for like a day. Literally, time is passing. She's just holding her baby. I'm guessing breastfeeding him. And they're just staring at each other. She falls asleep. Baby's gone. She done fucked Did he just say baby sacrifice? Yep. She goes outside, her baby's being passed around and peeing. And I don't know if you know this about babies, but if you don't support their head, the sound when the baby's neck cracks, holy shit. Everybody in the theater is like, few shots later, there is a mangled corpse of a baby that you can't even tell is a baby anymore. Everybody is eating the baby. She goes into this psychotic rage and stabs everybody. I'm not joking here. And then they get the upper hand on her and they beat the living shit out of her. If I told you the plot of this movie, you wouldn't believe me. A titty pops out. They are beating the shit out of her. Her husband comes in, stops them. She realizes how crazy he is. She gets crazy and burns the house down. Everybody dies except for him. He is unscathed. She is this burnt, mangled corpse. He asks her for one more thing. Her love. She says she has nothing else to give. And he digs out her heart and it turns into that mineral. And then the house is no longer burned. And the ashes go away like in the beginning. And another woman wakes up and says, baby. The end. What the fuck just happened? I don't know. But you need to go see this movie so you can interpret it, because I need a little help on this one. What do I even score this movie? I don't even... It's not the best movie ever. And it's very confusing. You don't know what's going on most of the time. Still don't know what's going on. But I'm going to give this movie an 8 out of 10. That's my personal opinion watching it. I love movies that challenge my way of thinking and challenge me, and this movie does that. If you like this video or any of my videos, hit the like button, share on Facebook, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and most importantly, I want you to laugh. I'm Elon Rich. If you want me to analyze this ending, please let me know in the comment section. Make sure you like this video. Turn on the notifications so you'll know when I post a video, because I literally sit there until I get at least one view. I'm crazy like that.
Now look at you walking in here looking all pretty and angry and mean and good. I know you didn't get your hair done so you can just sit down and just sit still.
Hey, we trying to have a good time tonight.